Okay, welcome back to another YouTube video. Today, the session is going to be a lower body session. So we're going to do some plyometrics to start with. We're going to do some drop jumps, working on being nice and quick off the floor. Then we're going to work on a power work. We're going to do some broad jumps. We're going to work on being nice, explosive horizontally. Trying to work from a standing position, try to be nice and explosive. Then we're going to move on to some single leg work. We're going to do some Zercher and Bulgarian split squats. Haven't done them before, so we're going to see how we get on with them. And then we're going to do some Nordics. Really looking forward to doing them. I've seen a lot of improvement recently, so I'm hoping I'm a lot better today, but we'll see. And then we're going to finish with accessories, a little bit of groin work, and a little bit of hip flexion work. So nothing much else to say. I'm just going to get right into the workout. So we start with the drop jumps. We've already done our light plyometric work. We did some pogo series. Don't really need to show you that. You've probably seen that a million times. So I'm just going to show you the drop jump, explain it a little bit. And then, so we'll just get right into it. We've just finished our extensive plyos. We just did the double leg pogo series just to help warm up my ankles, make me feel a little bit more elasticy. Now we're going to go into drop jumps. All we're going to do here, drop from the box, try to be nice and quick off the floor. We don't want to be too long. We're not aiming for height here. We're just aiming for quickness off the floor. So we're not going to get too deep in a knee bend. We're going to have our knees just slightly bent. We're just going to try and get nice and quick off the floor. So we're just going to drop. Just try to be nice and quick. We also want to get slightly high, but that's not the aim. The aim isn't to get high, it's to get as high as we can, but while being as quick off the floor as we can. So just going to do 3 sets of 5 of this. We're landing on the floor, trying to land on our mid-foot, just having that heel just slightly off the floor. We don't want to land with our heel on the floor, because as I've said in other videos, that acts as a braking force, and it means that you're slowing down the movement. So if we're doing a depth jump, which is for jumping height, we would land on our heel, because we're trying to produce as much force, we're trying to jump as high as we can. But with this exercise, the drop jump, we're just trying to be nice and quick off the floor. So landing on that mid-foot makes it way easier to make that transition to the toes a lot easier. Because we're landing on the heel, it's going to take us longer to transition through the foot and get ourselves up. So that's why we'll land in the midfoot for this exercise. But if your goal was to get max height, you probably would have to land your heels slightly just to be able to produce more force, be able to jump up nice and high. Again, you also don't want the box to be too high. Because the higher the box is, the harder it's going to be nice and quick off the floor. And we might go a little bit higher than this for the next set, but you don't want to be too high that we sacrifice the quickness off the floor. So we've got to be at a decent height where we can still be nice and quick off the floor. Again, I don't have anything to check this. I'm just kind of going off how I feel. And if I feel like it's getting too slow, I would take the box height down. Okay, we're going to do one more set. We're going to go a little bit higher, put on the 4-inch, just to slightly increase it a little bit. I think if I went any higher, my quickness off the floor would go, and it would end up being a pointless exercise. It would end up being kind of in between a drop jump and a death jump, which is not what I want. I want this to be a proper drop jump where I'm being nice and quick off the floor. Because I think for me, I'm not a very reactive athlete. I'm not very nice and quick. I'm more of a force-producing athlete, so like I can maybe produce a lot of force, but I struggle to produce that quickly. I think that's the reason I don't jump very high, and I also don't sprint that fast. I think it's because my stretch shortening cycle isn't that good. I'm not very efficient at, making that force turn it into velocity. So that's why I'm needing to work on like nice, quick kind of activities like this. And that's why I do a lot of sprinting and jumping, because I think that's where I'm lacking. Like if you're lacking in strength, you're better to do more strength kind of exercises, but I don't think that's anywhere I'm lacking. So I don't do as much of that. I'm trying to do more athletic kind of things, just so I can, improve my athletic ability. And I think for me, that's the most important. That's the only way I'm going to get more athletic, is by doing nice, quick kind of movements like this. Like the strength training is obviously going to help too, but for me, the place that I'm lacking is more the quickness and that speed. So that's why this drop jumps are a really good exercise for that. Wasn't too bad. I was still nice and quick, so this is a good height. Okay, we're on to broad jump now. A great exercise for developing that horizontal power, being able to explode nice and quickly from like a standing position. We're just going to start with, we're going to do 3 reps, not jumping as far as we can, just get into it, then we're going to go into our actual working sets. So these aren't too far. Just gets into it. I always like to have a tape measure just so I know exactly how far I'm jumping and so I can drive that intent into the exercise, because that's the main reason for doing this. If you don't have any intent in the exercise, there's like basically no point in doing it. So I need a tape measure or some kind of marker just to measure how far you're jumping. So you can try and beat it every time. Almost like just being in competition with yourself. Okay, they were fine. Try and go a little bit further now. Normally do like 3 reps in a row, then rest. Or another way I do it is either do 3 reps in a row, then have a rest, or I just do like between 10 to 20 jumps, just rest as I feel needed. It's like a max effort exercise, so we are trying to produce as much force as we can, so you need to rest in between each rep so you feel good for the next rep. If you're just continually doing it, you do like 10 reps in a row, by the 6th or 7th rep, your distance is going to be so much lower, and you're not going to be as powerful. And the point of this exercise is to produce a lot of power. We're not working on like endurance or anything with this. We're working on our power output. So that's why you need to rest a lot in between each rep. Not bad actually for the first one. My first one sucks, but that one was one of my best ones we've done in a long time. So it shows it's going to be a good day. Yeah, just like to write it down in my book so I know exactly how far I jumped each time. It's a good idea to have a book on you, a workout book. For years, I never tracked. For years, I never really tracked any of my workouts, and I kind of regret that now. I'd love to have looked back at my journals and been like, oh, this is what I did then, but for some reason, I just never did it. So I'm trying to get in the routine of doing it now. So just track how far I've jumped. I track every exercise, how many reps I've done of them as well, just so I know. So I can look back on it in the future and be like, oh, this was a good period of training. Why was it? So you can like kind of investigate and be like, oh, this was good. Why was I good at that? Why was I good at this point? What was I doing right? So it's just good to keep a journal so you know exactly how you've been doing, so you can look back on it as well. No, that was bad. That wasn't good. That one's so good. Just kind of want to get my average up. So like normally, all these jumps have been better than normal average. So that's pretty good. Because like if you just have one really good jump, your average, the rest of them are pretty crap. That's not really great. You want to get like the average up. So like most of your jumps are pretty good, rather than just like one really good one. The rest of them kind of suck. So yeah, so we didn't rest a lot in between that last one, and it was way less. So we want to not way less, but it was a little bit less. So we're going to rest a little bit more in between each rep. Having that little marker there helps a lot as well, because I know I'm trying to get to like that marker, and just having that I think it makes you jump further, because like obviously you're like seeing that marker and I'm like, I need to get to there. Rather than if I had it a bit further back, probably wouldn't be jumping as far. It's just like your mind would just be like, I just need to get past that marker. So that's why I like to have it there and put it a bit further than what I normally get, or as close to that as possible. So then like it makes it more difficult for me to beat it, but I still want to beat it. So it kind of works like that. Well, that's how I think about it anyway. That was decent. These reps are actually better than what I've done before. The consistency of them, like I'm consistently getting further where I never used to be able to get. So that shows improvement. So it shows something's working right now. I think obviously not having football, like training twice a week and a game on a Saturday, my legs are way more fresh. So like I can work on the power kind of stuff, and I can work on this kind of stuff. So when I go back to like the season or pre-season, I've just upped improved my overall system of my body. Like now I'll just be a more powerful, stronger athlete. And I think that's so important to do in the off season. Like this is the only time, the only period of time you don't have to do any conditioning, or you don't have tons and tons of like football and like games and that. So this is it's such a crucial time for everyone. Like it's a way to set yourself up for the season. And I think a lot of people do it wrong. Like they do like a lot of 5K runs or like a lot of HIIT workouts or just like bodybuilder splits that just aren't going to improve your performance for the pitch. Especially if you're doing conditioning stuff. Like you obviously need to do some conditioning, but I think this is the best time. It's the only time we don't have to be. It's the only time where you don't have to do tons of conditioning. This is the best time where you can actually work on your abilities that you're not good at. Let's say you're not fast. This is the best time to work on your speed. Let's say you're not strong. This is the best time to work on your strength. And that should be the main focus rather than like conditioning, because you do conditioning all year round with football training and all that, or your team training. So like you don't need to really specialize on that in the off season unless you're really, really unfit. So I think you're better to specialize more on like building that power, building that speed, building that strength in the off season. Because then when you go back to preseason, you just be a more your system, your just body will just be better, just be stronger and more powerful. And you get to condition in the preseason anyway, so you don't really need to work on it in the off season. Maybe just maintain it, like do 1 or 2 sessions a week, but you don't need to make it like your main thing. Oh, I don't think so anyway. I think you're better working on other physical qualities like power, like speed, like strength, and working on, or like your movement quality, working on those kind of things rather than just conditioning all the time. Good reps. We're going to do 10 reps. We've got 2 more reps to do. Then we're going to finish and we're going to go into our strength work. Actually, I have no idea what I can do here. We just whacked on 60 kilo. I think I should be able to do that fine. So we're going to do 5 reps. And we're going to just increase it as we go along. That didn't feel too bad. I can tell it's going to be hard though. So we're going to go up to 80 kilo, see how that feels. And then if we can go higher, we will. Okay, we're going to do 80 kilo. I put it down in between each leg. That was hard. Just going to put down in between each rep. Each set, sorry. Because I'm soft. Not the best distance, but make it work. Didn't set up that first leg the best with there. It was a bit too narrow. We might be a bit further forward, but it's what it is. Still did it. So, oh, that was pretty hard. I want to work up to 100 kilo, but I don't know if I can go that in me because I'm soft. Probably stick with this weight for now because that was hard for 5 reps. I could probably do less reps, but I want to hit 5 reps today with this. Then on the next lower body session, we're going to go a lot heavier. We're going to do back squats. So I'll stick with this. That was good. We're doing another set of it. At least 1 more set, probably maybe 2, but we'll see how we feel. Back on to Nordics. I probably do these. I've been doing these every week for quite a while now, just because I want to like develop that strong hamstring strength, and like I just want to be able to do a full one, not just one full. I want to be able to do like 5 reps in a row, full eccentric, full concentric, not even 4 because it's really good for your hamstring. I just think it's cool to do. So that's the main reason I want to do it. And then I want to start adding weight to it. Then like you just look like a super freak athlete if you can do that. So That's probably like a personal kind of reason why I want to do it, just because it looks fucking cool. But um, also, it is great for hamstring injuries. I mean, Joel Smith from Just Fly Performance on Instagram just made a really good post about it, just saying how no matter what, like Nordics sometimes get a lot of shit because like people are like, well, it's not as good for as sprinting for your hamstrings, which is true. You obviously need to expose your hamstrings to high speed running, and you do that through sprinting, high intense sprinting. But you also need to get good slow strength. If you go check out his post, Just Fly Performance on Instagram, he just explains that like in all studies, Nordics still prove that they're a great exercise for not preventing hamstring injuries, but like definitely reduce the risk of getting hamstring injuries. So it's worth doing it just for that even. Also, yeah, you need to get some high speed exposure, which sprinting does. But then you also need to get some slow strength, and Nordics are the perfect example of that. Slow strength, maximum eccentric, like putting your muscles through a lot of eccentric stress, which is what you want in the hamstring. Anyway, but a lot of people again say because of the hamstring, like most hamstring pulls come from like when you're in the swing phase, and when you're sprinting, in like the Nordics doesn't train that phase, but I mean, as you said in the post, you need some slow eccentric hamstring strength. And the best way I feel to do that is through Nordics. I mean, RDLs are also great, but Nordics just have that maximum eccentric, and it's just so hard on the muscles, and it's a great exercise to do. So that's what I still think is a great exercise, even though a lot of people shit on them. But yeah, I still think they're a great exercise to do, and I love doing them. And I just want to be able to do bodyweight ones comfortably. I think it looks cool. So yeah, we do them like every week. I try to anyway, as much as I can, because I think it's one of my favorite hamstring exercises to do. So yeah, we're going to try and do full eccentrics. We've got the medicine ball here just to shorten the range of motion if I need to, if I can't do the concentric. And then we're going to do some banded one to finish, just to get some volume on the hamstrings as well. So I like to do the last set, just put a band on and just try and get over 5 reps. Because normally when I'm doing these with no band, I only get like 3 reps per set, just because like it's so hard in hamstrings. If I do any more than that, the form sucks, and I don't really get anything out of it. So that's why 3 reps is like my max right now, anyway, until I can get better at it. Then I put the band on just so I can get full eccentric concentrics, and to make it a little bit easier, so I can get more volume in hamstring. So yeah, just get right into that now. We can do this. Oh, sloppy form, but still managed it. That eccentric felt the best I've ever done, to be fair. So something's working. That definitely felt the best, but let's try again. Concentric was quite sloppy, but I don't give a fuck right now. I just want to get it done. Oh, again, not great, but got up. I will take that. Okay, one more. Then we're going to take a rest. See if we can get 3 in a row. Oh, here we go. Oh, yes. I mean, as I said through that was not the best form. Concentrically, we were just like throwing ourselves up any way we could. But I don't really care. I will take that. That's the first time I've ever done 3 reps in a row, full eccentric, full concentric. So happy with that, even though they were messy as hell. We can work on that. Like, the more we do it, the better I'm going to get at it. So we can work on that form. I'm not really too fussed about that right now. I was definitely leaning more towards the right side, so maybe that shows that my right side is a bit stronger in my left side hamstring, but or it could just be a compensation for the way I'm doing it. But whatever, I'm happy with that. We're gonna do at least one more set of this. We might do 2 more sets. We'll see. And then do one with a band. But I'm going to go do my accessories. So we're going to do some Copenhagen's and some hip flexor work as well in between this, just to quicken up the whole session, to be honest. We're going to go for 6. Got 5 last time. We're going to go for 6 this time. That was actually harder than I thought it was going to be. Okay, cool. That is a session over with. That was actually a really good session again. Most exercises I think I got better on, especially with the broad jump. The average was actually way better than normally is, so that's something that looks, which is good. I didn't actually get the furthest I've ever jumped, but the overall average was good. They were all very consistent in range with each other, which is what I want. It just shows that my power is actually just getting better, even though it's not been the best one I've ever done. I've never had them all so close and like so good in a row. So that's like, and I see that as an improvement. And it shows that my power output is probably getting better. Like, yeah, also like the Bulgarian Zercher split squats, never done them before. Worked up to 80 kgs for 5 reps. Probably maybe could have done slightly more, but to be honest, I'm happy with that. I haven't done them ever. They are brutal exercise. If you're going to do them, take care. They're a killer. Like, but it was a really good exercise. I really like doing on this kind of day, just doing a random single leg exercise. Like last week we did the reverse lunge Zerchers. Today we did the Bulgarian Zerchers. Next week I think we're going to do dumbbell walking lunges. Not something I've ever done either. I think I'm just quite like having fun with this day and doing some sort of single leg variation and just whacking on a ton of weight and just seeing how we feel. Like, and then going next week I might do a higher rep range. I'm not sure yet. I think the rep range I was going to do was going to be 6 reps maybe or 8 reps. I have to look at the program, but yeah, just like changing up the exercises for this day. It's been really fun, and it just gets me working on various different various angles, different ways. Like tomorrow we walk and lunges, there's more dynamic movement, and then I think the week after that we're going to do Zercher lateral squats, which again is working on something different. But yeah, I like doing that for this kind of day. And then Nordics are getting way better too. Hamstring strength's obviously improving. Maybe it's because I do a lot of sprinting. Maybe that is improving hamstring strength. I'm not sure, but something's definitely helping. And then also with the accessories, got more hip flexor work in, which is important, not something I ever do. So I'm happy to get that in. And a little bit of Copenhagen's for the groins. The groins are a very important muscle for all explosive movements. So just I probably should be doing different exercises, more loaded kind of exercises for it, but that will come. I think like even when you do single leg exercises like the Bulgarian split squat, that's also working the groin. Maybe not like in isolation, but it's still working it to some extent. So it's quite. That's why I like to isolate it somehow. But Copenhagen's maybe aren't. They're a good exercise, but probably need to get some load on them to make them stronger and make them better, because it is an important muscle in athletic development. And like when you're sprinting and squatting and all that, your groins are quite used a lot in that. So yeah, probably need to change up exercise, maybe use a different exercise. But apart from that, everything was quite good. So yeah, basically, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Tomorrow's going to be an upper body day. I'll try and film that for you. But yeah, thank you. See you next time.